In this video, we're going to talk about how to read in data from an external source. So in particular, we've got the Laman database that has CSV files, they're tables of data, and we want to read one into R so we can use it. So the first thing I want to do is, I'm going to load it in, and I created a script before, so I'm going to run the setwd command. This is where I keep a lot of my scripts. I'm going to run the getwd command as well. It says I'm in C users, Highlands, so on. This is where I keep my scripts. But in this particular case, I want to read in data from the place where I've got the Laman database. So I'm going to go to session. I'm going to set the working directory, choose the directory. To my sabermetrics folder, there's the Laman 2021 folder, the baseball database, and all of the files, all of the CSV files are in this core folder. So I'm going to set the working directory to that space. And then when we look over files, here are all the Laman CSV files, or all the Laman tables that these are what I want to work with, right? So the first thing I'm going to do, so if I dig in, I'll do the getwd command. It's going to show there I am. Anything that I refer to is going to be referring to that folder. So let's do it. So what I want to do is I want to read it into a data frame, and I'm going to call the data frame batting. And I want to be careful that I am case sensitive, so I'm going to use a small, all lowercase, and I'm going to use read.csv. So the command is read CSV, and I'm going to notice over here it's batting.csv. So again, I have to pay attention to the case. So let's do it. So the command is read CSV. I'm reading in batting.csv, and I'm storing it, so the arrow going to the left means I'm going to store it in batting, right? So I can see there's batting. In my environment now, I have a data frame called batting. So let's open up batting, so I can just click on it, and I can see now I've got this data frame, this flat file with all of the batting data from Laman. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is I can use read underscore CSV. So I'm going to create batting1 read underscore CSV. So it's a read package that's through the tidyverse. And I'm going to read in batting. So I'm going to read in the file into a different data frame called batting1. I'm going to read the same data in. So I run it, and notice it gets an error. It could not find the function read underscore CSV. Well, that's because read underscore CSV is part of the Laman database, and I never executed the library function. So let's do it. So I'm going to go up to row 6, hit Control-Enter. It's going to load the tidyverse into the library. I can see down here it's loading in all the packages. And so now when I go back to line 17, hit Control-Enter, it works this time. So now I've got two identical data frames, batting and batting1, where they look identical, the same number of observations, the same number of variables. But the reason I might want to do it different, the str command, string command, will tell us information about batting and batting1. So if I do str batting, and I go down and look, it's batting. It's read in a lot of these variables as integers. It knows we get a lot of missing information here for hit by pitch. Sacrifice, and this is early days when these data weren't recorded. If I do str batting 1, notice it reads a lot of them in as double precision and character and so on. So not particularly important right now as you get started, but two different ways, and sometimes one will be more convenient than the other. So read.csv is part of BaseR. Read_CSV is part of the Llama database, right? So if I'm doing a script, let's say I decide I'm just going to use the first one. So one of the things that I might want to do is get rid of batting1. So down here in the console, I'm going to tell RM, so remove batting1. So way down here on the bottom left, I'm going to do RM, remove batting1, hit enter. Notice that gets it out of my environment. It's no longer a data frame I have to work with. And if I was going to save this as a script, delete all that. And so now I've got batting that I can use. I no longer have it. So what I might do sometimes, I use the console to run some commands. My script up here are the commands that I want to save and use again and again if I'm going to be coming back and using the script. So that, what we've done is we've used the read.csv command and the read_CSV command to read external sources into a data frame so that we can use them in R. One other thing that you might see sometimes, we're going to use a lot of times, we're going to say, so the way I read this is use the read function to read in batting, and the arrow says store it in batting. You might see this kind of command, especially some of the stuff we do in the book. The book does this notation sometimes. So read CSV and put it in a vessel. Put it in batting1. So we might see this syntax where I do it at the end. This I think is a lot more cleaner and preferred, more useful. But if we see it this way, we'll know what's going on.